In the fall of 1944, after Jack switched to Lucky Strike, General Foods did move a show opposite Jack. It wound up being the Kate Smith Show. The company moved Smith's Friday program, countering Benny with a $170,000 ad campaign. While they did temporarily put a dent into Benny's rating, Kate Smith lost 40% of her audience, dropping to 93rd place in the overall ratings. The following season, General Foods moved her back to Friday, but Kate Smith never again had another top 50 show. That brings our look at Jack Benny's show in the spring of 1944 to a close. I mentioned that Benny's last episode for General Foods aired on June 4th, 1944. Well, our next episode of Breaking Walls will move only 2 days into the future, for perhaps the most important day in broadcasting history.
This is Robert St. John in the NBC newsroom in New York. Ladies and gentlemen, we may be approaching a fateful hour. All night long, bulletins have been pouring in from Berlin claiming that D-Day is here, claiming that the invasion of Western Europe has begun.
Next time on Breaking Walls, we spotlight radio broadcasting, June 6th, 1944, to align ourselves with the country's heartbeat on the day the invasion of Western Europe finally began.
On the Normandy Peninsula, about 31 miles southwest of Le Havre.
The reading material used in today's episode was Sunday Nights at 7 by Jack and Joan Benny, On the Air by John Dunning, Network Radio Ratings by Jim Ramsberg, as well as articles from Broadcasting Magazine, Radio Daily, and Variety.
I repeat, there is no confirmation.
And a massive special thank you to William Cairns for providing me with invaluable research on Benny's 1940s run. William has a Jack Benny book on the way.
Have been wiped out. Now I presume that means wiped out by the Allies.
On the interview front, Jack Benny, Dennis Day, Phil Harris, Frank Nelson, and Don Wilson spoke with Chuck Shaden. Hear these full chats at speakingofradio.com. Mel Blanc and Mary Jane Higby spoke to Dick Bertel and Ed Corcoran for WTIC's The Golden Age of Radio. Hear these interviews at goldenage-wtic.org. Jack Benny, Dennis Day, Phil Harris, and Don Wilson were also with Jack Carney. And Dennis Day again was also with John Dunning for his 1980s KNUS program from Denver. And Orson Welles spoke to Johnny Carson.
The text of communique number 1 will be released to the press and radio of the United Nations in 10 seconds. Repeat, 10 seconds from now.
Selected music featured in today's episode was The Hut on Fowl's Legs by Modest Mussorgsky. Subscribe to Burning Gotham, the audio soap opera set in 1835 New York City. It's available everywhere you get your podcasts and at burninggotham.com. Special thank you to Ted Davenport, Jerry Hendiges, and Gordon Skeen. For Ted, go to radiomemories.com. For Jerry, visit otrsite.com. And for Gordon, go to pastdaily.com. I'd also like to thank Walden Hughes and John and Larry Gassman of Spurvac. Listen to their shows on the Yesterday USA Radio Network.
Allied naval forces supported by strong air forces.
Breaking Walls episode 152 will deep dive D-Day on the air. This episode will be available beginning June 1st, 2024, everywhere you get your podcasts and at thewallbreakers.com. In the meantime, give Breaking Walls a quick rating on whatever platform you listen. You can also join the Breaking Walls Facebook group at facebook.com/group/thewallbreakers. And support this show for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/thewallbreakers. So until June 1st, my name is James Scully. This has been Breaking Walls episode 151. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you very much.
They are moving in from the sea to attack the enemy under a mammoth cloud of fighter planes, under a ceiling of screaming shells from Allied warships. The first news flashes do not say, but a large proportion of this assault is believed to be in the hands of American men. They are making the attack side by side with the British Tommies who were bombed and blasted out of Europe.